We know we got some crazy apples in the Hall of Fame, but that didn't stop them from getting in. But the bottom line is, when you're going to have this type of conversation,
I don't want to lose in that. A new Simmsism is crazy apples instead of rotten apples.
You're right. Way to go.
That's a really good
job.
One. Love crazy apples.
Yeah, you knew what I meant, though. That's why they call them Simmsism.
They're
kind of better. It's kind of better than rotten apple. It's a crazy apple, right? Yo, what's up? It's Chris Simms. Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Connor Rogers and I are here. It's live. It's YouTube. You know where to find us. Crazy apples together, right? Rotten apple. I'm rotting out here.
The two crazy apples.
Yeah, but no, it's been good. I've been here for about 48 hours now. You can feel the vibe,
buzz.
right? The buzz here in this building really picked up in the last hour or two. It's not baller time yet, but there are ballers starting to walk around, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when the defensive MVP from last year, Patrick Surtain's walking around, Nick Bonito, you go, okay, things are improving, right? I just saw Baron Davis, the basketball player. So yesterday you saw none of them.
No.
And then tomorrow, of course, and Thursday, you hit like, oh my gosh, there's Joe Montana, there's Emmitt Smith, right? And that's when it becomes a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's really cool. You have everybody here for the Pro Bowl as well.
Yeah.
So you get to see all the stars out.
I know. It is crazy. I saw a few just walking the streets yesterday, and I was like, oh, my God, I forgot the Pro Bowl is here, which is different, as far as the layout of the Super Bowl usually.
You just forget the sheer size of some of the biggest stars in the league, too, where no matter how many times you're in this environment, you're just like, well, that's why you're a superstar in the NFL.
Definitely. And then, but at the same time, you can then walk down the street and say Antoine Winfield and go, wait, he looks like a normal guy, except he's just got more muscles than the normal guy.
But, and more brains.
And more brains probably, too. Exactly.
That's right.
But, yeah, that's the great thing about football. It's a sport that it's all shapes and sizes, and it doesn't matter, right? I mean, it really doesn't. It's dependent on the position. And the really good teams, and like what we're talking about here, especially like I would say Seattle, more of this, they have a great blend of like things we talk about in scouting when the draft. They're big at the positions you want to be big,
right?
But they're not worried about being big everywhere. They need we need a fast nickelback. Let's get Devin Witherspoon.
That's right.
We don't need them to be big everywhere, right? And so the positions they got to be big, they've done that, and then they got speed at the positions you want speed at, and that usually lines up to a good football team.
And we have our first guest today,
man,
Joe Milton.
Joe Milton
will join the show.
I mean, he's got a weapon for a right arm.
Oh my God!
I'm actually excited to talk to Joe Milton, right? Because there is a lot of potential there.
Yep.
There's a guy that, I mean, again, the Cowboys traded for him, and hoping maybe he could be something. And also in that, to know how talented he is. I mean, New England got rid of him because they were like, you're too talented, and we're trying to bring Drake Maye up, and we don't need like people in the locker room after practice one day going, man, I mean, Drake Maye was good, but did you see Joe Milton today? Right? They didn't want to do that. That's why they got him out of town. And that's where being talented at the quarterback position when you're a backup can be bad, right? Right? It happened to me in my draft. My draft, I was viewed in a lot of ways as, okay, this is somebody as a starting quarterback. Then I didn't go in the first round. Then it's the second round. It's like, damn, I don't know if we want to bring a guy that's, I'm not saying I was worth a damn, but I was a number one recruit in the country coming out of high school. I had a big arm.
Right.
And then you get to a point where teams want to frame their team. They don't want to bring a quarterback in that's going to be like, confuse things and go, oh man, our quarterback's good, but we got somebody behind him.
That's exactly
it. That's where the politics of quarterback can sometimes hurt the guy that's more talented than the guy that's good in the meeting room. And he's not a threat. And he goes out and does the right thing in practice, but nobody goes in the locker room and goes, oh, wow, look at him do that today.
Willing to mentor the younger quarterback, not disruptive.
Right,
yeah,
exactly
it is a really weird dynamic, and
right?
it's going to be fun to pick his brain because he's been in New England before.
I can't
now
wait
he's in a market in Dallas, which is crazy.
Right.
So he's kind of seen it all in a young career. I was at his Senior Bowl where you got to watch him throw the ball literally a mile. I was like, well, I know he's got to work on some things, but I know he could throw the football 3 fields.
Right. I remember the first time I saw him, I think it was the Manning Passing Academy, and there was just a video on social media, and I was like, what? I remember seeing him play a little at the end of some games in Tennessee the one year he wasn't the starter, but he came in. And then I saw him at that camp, and I was like, man, I didn't realize he could throw it like that. It's an all-time type of arm when you talk about throwing the football, that's for sure.
Plenty to get through today. Yesterday, we didn't get to really dive into the coordinator carousel, so we will get there because there's been a lot of big moves. Even the Giants today making their hire official as well. Some more Hall of Fame news that we'll get to. But Let's play a little bit what's more likely. We have to preview. We've been doing this all year, Chris. We got one game left for what's more likely, but as we do, we always look back before we look ahead. The conference championship results. We had, for the AFC side, Jarrett Stidham has more touchdowns or interceptions. I went with touchdowns. You went with more interceptions. He had one touchdown and one interception, but he did have that fumble too.
Right.
So that's a neutral.
Right.
Besides that, you and I had a great week.
We did. You're right.
We got the next
AFC,
three.
We did all right there, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Denver runs for over 110 yards or
right.
under 90. We both went under 90. They had 79. Drake Maye completes over 65% of his passes or under 60. We went under. He actually completed 47.6%.
Right.
Which is jarring.
Yeah,
of course,
to the weather there, that helps
of
out
course.
too, right.
And then New England has over 30 carries or under 25. We actually both went over 30.
That was a bold one. That was
their
the one
season
where,
high.
Yeah, that was a bold one where I was like, oh, I don't know about that one, but I'm going to go with it, right?
38 carries.
That's what's dangerous about New England. You know, it's one of the reasons, too, where, you know, in a lot of ways, Drake Maye's years are phenomenal. You know that. We've praised him. But it's why I also did not vote for him to be the MVP, right? They're a team that's played, let's run the ball, let's play defense. They're one of the top running teams in the sport. They wanted Drake Maye to go 18 for 24, 245 yards, and a touchdown. Right? That's, to me, is different than with the Rams. The Rams are going, wait, no, we're playing through Matthew Stafford. And for us to win the game, he's got to throw for 300 and maybe 3 touchdowns. So, you know, that's where I look at it to be a little different. Drake Maye, with all things being, you know, likely or whatever the hell I'm trying to say there, he's going to get an MVP at some point. He's got that type of talent, but I just didn't think it was this year.
On the NFC side of it, a little bit more of an even one for us. Matthew Stafford has 3+ touchdowns or 1+ interception. And we both said the interception. He had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he in
this game. He did his part.
They showed an understanding of how to attack Seattle that we've talked about. And I think the big thing is, too, and what we talked about, is the Rams' offensive line was able to slow down the pass rush of the Seattle Seahawks. And that's going to be a big thing. So, you know, and that's go ahead. Let's finish the rest of these results here, and then I'll finish that comment right there.
The Rams have over 120 rushing yards or under 100. We both said over 120. They had 114, so this one fell in the middle.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold throws no interceptions or 2+ interceptions. Chris, you were right. You were a believer in Darnold. He didn't throw an interception.
Your Jets ear scared you.
Yeah, I did. I saw the ghost. Kenneth Walker has 2+ rushing touchdowns or 0. We both said 2+. He had 1, which was the most likely scenario. He fell right in the middle. And then this one we nailed. Puka Nacua has more receiving yards than Jackson Smith and Jigba, or vice versa. We said Puka. Puka had 165. JSN still had 153.
I know. It's incredible. It is.
Let's get back to your initial, though, point with Stafford. You were talking about when he had the 3 touchdowns, no picks, did everything that he had to do.
They showed an understanding, right? How
to protect him.
And the protection. That's the big thing. Thanks for getting me back on track
took me
there.
a second
I was like,
too.
wait, what the hell was I saying? The Rams O-line is, to me, one of the underlying secrets to their success against Seattle. They're one of the few offensive lines you saw all year that didn't get bullied by the Seattle front, right? And we've talked about Seattle where it's not necessarily the edge guys. The edge guys are good, but it's really the 3 interior guys when they're in there, right? And Byron Murphy, Leonard Williams, even Jerron Reed, right? That can really go, oh my gosh, they are pushing the pocket into the quarterback's face and doing that. Now, New England's good on the interior part of the O-line. So some of that you look at from the Rams aspect and go, ooh, they might have some time. But we also know that the Patriots are a little lesser on the tackle, at the tackle position than some of the teams the Seahawks have played here as of late, too. So that's going to be an interesting thing to watch and see how that unfolds. I'm going to be interested to see how Seattle plays it early. Are they going to go, hey, we think our front 4 can get there? Or are they going to go, you know, your receivers are good, but we got a really talented secondary. We're going to be a little more aggressive. We're going to crowd the line of scrimmage. You're not going to run the ball as one of the best running teams in the football on us. And, you know, we're going to have to kind of disrupt Drake Maye and take some chances in the back end, right? And I could see logic to either way. Right? I think more than likely I would see them playing a conservative early and going, let's just see if our dudes can get there and do it themselves first before we go into, let's bring this blitz or let's disguise this and do that, right? And that's one of the things I'll be looking at early on in the football game.
And make him actually sift through more players on the back end and try to read the coverages. We know Mike McDonald with all his zones and stuff could be very complex.
Definitely. He's great at that. But like what we worry about is like the point you brought up about the AFC championship game. The Patriots are showing they're an elite patient running football team. They will stick with it. That's how they want to play. And their interior part of their O-line's real deal. They can push you around. So if they're able to run the ball and kind of keep Seattle, like you can't just sit back and play your zones and just rush 4, that'll be a dynamic of the game that can really change how things are viewed and how the scoreboard looks.
Well, let's get into some of the categories that, of course, Pete has drawn up for us. By the way, poor Pete taking a lot of flack today for his nice jacket.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I was shocked. I can't even believe it. Like, when I walked in today, I was like, what are you? You're wearing a sports coat? I was like,
I didn't know it was him because I walked in from the back.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, no hat on his hair today. None of that.
No,
right?
he's like, this is his show
and
now.
he hasn't had any cackling today either. So I don't. He put a coat on, and I don't hear his laugh in the background.
No more fun. All business.
Do you want some more sloppy joes?
Oh my God! Thank God Pete's a good sport, because literally every production we do on this show, the talent makes fun of him or has fun with him.
Yeah,
he's a great sport.
That means when you're part of the team.
That's exactly.
That's when you know you're
exactly
loved.
right. All right, our first category here: Drake Maye completes over 60% of his passes, or under 57%.
He's giving us a lot of wiggle room.
Yeah,
right.
May had an NFL best 72% completion rate in the regular season. We've read this one every week during the playoffs, but 55.8% in the playoffs, including the one we just went through, a season worst 47.6. Yes, there was the snow game in the AFC Championship. Seattle has allowed a 62.2% completion rate this season. That's 7th best in the NFL. Chris, I'm not going to get away from what's worked for us week after week. I'm still going to take the under.
Yeah, this one's a tough one. And, you know, they were so good all year, like you talked about, and so efficient. And I think a lot of that was because of the running game and the patience there, too, right? And the opportunities that opened up in the passing game. You know, I also, there's a part of me that, hey, it's 2 weeks, right? Josh McDaniels is going to find some easy completions. I don't think Drake Maye has been on his total A game, as we've discussed a lot here in the playoffs. But there also is the aspect, I'm just going to say it one more time. I mean, that Chargers secondary is real. The Houston Texans defense, I got to say this one more time. It's one of the greatest defenses in the history of football. That's how good it is. So, I mean, if they got to the Super Bowl, we'd be going, is this the 2000 Ravens? Is this the 2000, right? They're that type of talent. So they're going to make a lot of quarterbacks look ugly. You know, I'm going to go with the over here.
This is the one.
Just barely, right?
Like
just
62,
barely.
63.
But I think McDaniels is worth about 7% in the completion percentage, right? He'll have a few screens and just a few game plan. Oh, I got Diggs open for a 6-yard pass or whatever that I think gets him going in the right direction. I think that's got to be one of their focuses early on in the football game, right? The AFC Championship game, one of the things that I thought was crazy was the game started and I was like, who's got the backup quarterback? Who's the MVP quarterback? Because the Patriots were so conservative.
It was wild.
It was almost did Drake Maye a disservice.
Right.
He never got to get in a rhythm and kind of get going in the football game. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, we're down 7-0. Can you make some throws and whatever? Yeah. And of course, it never really happened. And then the weather hit and his legs made the big plays of the day. But I got to think they got to think a little bit about getting him going early on in this football game.
And also, Seattle, you know, they don't struggle really with much, but they do give up some numbers to tight ends.
Yeah.
Maybe you get some easy throws to Hunter Henry.
Hunter Henry's been my, like we said yesterday in the draft,
X factor of
the game. Rashid Shaheed is probably my number one. Hunter Henry is the next guy. And I think it's because of, you know, what we've already talked. Seattle's defense good. They're fast as hell. They react, but they played zone. They play some zone. So you can manipulate them a little bit. Oh, we're going downhill to stop the run. Uh-oh, wait, the tight end who I'm supposed to drop back and be in his way, I reacted to the run, so now he's open. I could see Hunter Henry having a real big day.
Sam Darnold has over or under 90 passing yards using play action. Here's the numbers. Darnold had 1,674 passing yards off play action this season. That's the second most in the NFL. He averaged 88 per game, which is that's a nice mark. 11.5 yards per attempt off play action are the best in the NFL this season.
Yeah.
What do you think of this
I'm going to go over here.
Yeah, I was kind of leaning that way, too.
You know, I am, because I also think that the Patriots defense is going to be, hey, Kenneth Walker, We're going to stop the run. We're going to do that. And I think a little bit of like what I just said with Josh McDaniels on that side of the ball with Drake Maye, he'll find some ways. I think Clint Kubiak will have some game plan plays here as far as play action, and they'll live in that mode a good amount, I would think, early on in the football game.
It feels like it's kind of the meat and potatoes of what Kubiak wants to do.
Yes.
Right, so don't get away from what got you there.
No, I mean, that's
the
where
whole point.
it's Shanahan and McVay-ish. That's where it's great. And then his ability to, where we've seen in the playoffs, be a little more patient with the run, because we got to the end of the regular season a few times and we came in on Mondays and stuff and go, they could have ran the ball more, really, right? Even week 18 against the 49ers, with 11 rushes for 100 yards, right? Where you're going, damn, every time they ran the ball, there was a huge hole. I think they should have ran it more in that game.
Right.
I think they have gotten to that. And, like I said, I think the Patriots are going to go, let's not let the run game get going, because if we do that, then everything's available. And I think 2 will be, don't let Jackson Smith and Jigba beat us on third downs.
Right.
I think those are going to be the 2 main focuses for their defense early on in the game.
All right, what's more likely? Jackson Smith and Jigba has over 100 receiving yards or under 80. He's reached 100 in 10 games this season, under 80 in just 4. New England has allowed 600-yard receivers this season. Tyreek Hill, Emeka Ibuka, Drake London, Khalil Shakir, Dalton Kincaid, Brock Bowers. Not the names you would always expect to think of with that. This is really, really hard.
Yeah. I'm going under, man.
I was going to say, if you're New England, you can't let him beat you.
No, it's the
like
point.
Anyone else.
Right.
If Shaheed gets over the top for a bomb, you got beat by Rashid Shaheed.
You can sleep at night the next week after that. If you go and lose the Super Bowl and go, damn, man, Jackson Smith and Jigba got 195 in the game, you go, damn, shame on me.
Right.
Shame on me that we didn't think that could happen. So, yeah, I'd be shocked. I think one of the biggest things of the game, and that's why I said Rashid Shaheed, I think is going to be the biggest X factor, because I think they're going to have to dial up some plays for him. I think every time we're in a big 3rd and 5, 3rd and 8, they're going to go, no, somebody else other than Jackson Smith and Jigba. Let's see where it goes there. The other thing I want you to look at and peep a little bit is what you said there at the bottom. New England has allowed 600-yard receivers. Man, none of those are really recent. Those are all early in the year type of guys, right? Maybe the Khalil Shakir happened late when the Buffalo beat them late in the year.
Right.
But for the most part, the second half of the season, I don't remember too many receivers going off, and that kind of backs that up
Christian Gonzalez missed all the summer and the start of the season.
That's right.
That's kind of a big correlation there.
Big deal.
When healthy Christian Gonzalez,
no
you're going to limit the receiving options. So what's more likely? The Seattle defense has more takeaways than New England, or the other way around. Seattle 6th in takeaways in the regular season, 5 giveaways in 3 playoff games. New England's tied for 19th. But Seattle had the second most giveaways. New England tied for 23rd. New England has 8 takeaways in 3 playoff games. Seattle has 4. So this is kind of pretty even across the board when you factor in the playoffs and the fact of protecting the football and taking away the football.
It's a tight one here. I'm going to go with Seattle's defense, though.
Me too, because I think they can get a strip sack.
I think so. That's why you worry about Drake Maye. He's got 6 fumbles in the playoffs. I mean, that's one of the negatives about his whole year. It's just a little bit too relaxed in the pocket, not aware of people around him swiping at the ball. Seattle, we're all in the back of our mind going, oh, Sam Darnold still, even though he's been playing awesome.
Right, you're waiting for it.
But we're waiting for it. But I'm going to go with the reality of he's kind of on a heater. I think a lot of his interceptions this year happened in bunches, right, around the same time. So their giveaways are not, I think, the context of it, I would go, the last 7 or 8 weeks, they're not giving the ball away that much. He's playing a clean brand of football. I feel like he learned his lesson in that Rams game with the 4 interceptions to start wait, I don't need to take chances. We got a good football team. My defense is awesome. We can run the ball. And I think that adjusted him. So, if you're going to make me pick one there, I'm going to go to Seattle's defense gets more takeaways.
That's the thing. When you go through with Darnold, I mean, really since the middle of November.
Right? It cleaned up.
I think he's thrown 4 total picks.
That's where this is a great exercise, but that's where we have to give the context. That's our duty here, because Pete lays it out in a way where, it's a good question and all that. We're all thinking of Sam Darnold, but the reality is it hasn't been what we think it's been. Right. The last part of the year. And on the other side, the guy that we go, hey, he might win the MVP and all that.
Has not been the MVP
flipped on his head and gone the other way.
That's exactly right.
Right.
All right, I'm going to take Seattle as well. I really think the strip sack in play could be the difference in this one. What's more likely? the Seattle defense has more sacks than New England, or vice versa. New England just 35 sacks in the regular season. That was tied for 22nd in the NFL, but they've been heating up.
Yeah.
12-3 playoff games. We've talked about Milton Williams, Kayvon Chason.
Right.
Seattle had 47 sacks in the regular season. Of course, that was top 10. They only have 3 in the 2 playoff games.
I know.
But I do think, and you and I have been harping on this nonstop, I kind of don't count the Rams game for that much because they just play each other so often.
They know how to play them. Right.
They know how to play them.
Right.
Where
and the 49ers game, I mean, they got pressure all day long.
Right.
Purdy was good enough to throw the ball away or escape, but I mean, it was like a fire drill every time he dropped back to pass. So
I'm going to take Seattle.
I am too. You know, I'm with you. I mean, Seattle's front is special. Now, and I'm not trying to take away from New England's. I'm not, because it's damn good. I mean, Milton Williams and Barrymore, like we talked about, I mean, they're a force of nature. They're going to cause some issues. But I think the big thing is Darnold gets the ball out of his hands really quick for the most part. And Drake Maye holds the ball a little bit, and we have Will Campbell. And both of those things, I think, combined, that's why I lean for the Seahawks to have more sacks.
Yeah, and I think also, to be fair here, John Schneider's been building that Seattle front much longer than the Vrabel crew came. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like they went out and paid Milton Williams in free agency, and then the rest of it's like, hey, let's patch this together for this year.
Yeah.
They got to get more of their pass rushers over time. So it's not surprising to see Seattle where they are right now as a front.
Exactly right. I mean,
Waves.
Seattle, like we discussed yesterday, Seattle's got the more talented team.
Yeah.
But not by so much that you go one turnover or one great situational call by Mike Vrabel and this doesn't get flipped on its head and you go, oh no, whoa, New England's winning by 3 late in the fourth quarter, right? So that's where you look at it. And I think there's some things that we've discussed about the New England defense where we go, hey, I think it matches pretty good with that Seattle offense. And of course, we expect the defensive battle.
Our last one, what's more likely, Kenneth Walker leads the game in rushing or a Patriots player does? Here's the DraftKings odds for this. Kenneth Walker is minus 170 with the being the odds-on favorite. Ramondre Stevenson plus 255. Drake Maye, who I think is the value here, Chris, at plus 550 because it just might be a quarterback scrambles game in this one. I'm not going to take Kenneth Walker. I'll take the field of the Patriots.
I'm absolutely not. I'm not. I'm with you there. I mean, I gotta see it to believe it. Just tell me you're gonna run the ball on the Patriots.
They won't let you.
They were not, and they not only got physical beasts that are good against the run. They're just schematically good. Vrabel knows and coaches the right way to set the edge.
Right.
They know how to disengage off blocks. Right. They're phenomenal at little details of hand-to-hand combat. And the basic things that kind of get lost in the shuffle about football sometimes, that's where the Patriots are amazing. It's Belichickian that way. So, yeah, I don't look at him to be the big I think it's a Ramondre Stevenson. I wouldn't be shocked to, like you said, it could be maybe a Drake Maye. I wouldn't be shocked. One of the X factors, I think, for the Patriots is Travion Henderson.
Can he break one?
I mean, breaks one or gets a screen and breaks one, anything like that. But yeah, I just have a hard time thinking Seattle will make a living running the ball on the Patriots.
Trog Dog in the chat said Kenny Walker will run for about 75 yards.
About 75 yards. Well, yes,
I would be very surprised, but crazy things happen in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Kenneth Walker has the ability. It could be like, oh, we're late in the third quarter. He's only got 20 yards. He's only got, and all of a sudden he rips off a 40-yarder, right? That's where he's special. To where you go, man, we've had him bottled up, but now the 3 rockets up his ass. He got around the edge one time, and all of a sudden now he's got 15 carries for 95 yards, and that's going to be the big thing. The Seahawks are a big play football team.
Right.
That's what's scary about them. It's not about surgicality with them all the time. It's a strip sack fumble. It's a pick six. It's Kenneth Walker breaks a 60-yard touchdown. It's Rashid Shaheed returns a punt. Right? It's Jackson Smith and Jigba down the middle on a 50-yard post. That's where that's really, cool about them, right? But how many big plays can they make against the Patriots defense that we know will be ready for it and is really well coached?
We're going to take our first break. When we're back, talking more Hall of Fame voting. This crazy, crazy system continues right after this.
New customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the app and use promo code cornerback when you sign up. DraftKings SportsBook. The crown is yours.
Catch us from Radio Row all week. You got the Dan Patrick Show to kick off the day at 9 Eastern time. Of course, PFT Live. Ton of great guests all week at noon Eastern. Fantasy Football Happy Hour at 2. Chris and I, of course, every day at 3 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to have a lot of guests as well this week, and then the Dan Le Batard Show at 4. So just a loaded lineup on Peacock, the NBC Sports Network, NBCSports.com/now.
Football.
That's right.
We got this. Then I'm going to go over and we're going to do a little press conference for the Football Night in America pregame show for the Super Bowl. So I got to put a coat on and look like I'm professional for about 20 minutes. Right? I'm literally going to just put it right over this.
That's fine.
I'm sitting behind a desk and doing that. But that's all. I mean, it's a great experience. It really is. And I'm a big fan of San Francisco over the Super Bowl.
It's great.
I am. I think it's a cool city, right? I love being able to walk everywhere.
That's
There's great
the key.
Restaurants, right? I mean, everything is right here. The only negative thing is that, yes, when the game comes, you got to
far
drive
away.
45 minutes away. That's a pain in the butt. I get it. But yeah, the traffic will be a disaster, and I would suggest anybody going, take the train. The train's the easiest way to go.
I'm really enjoying it, though. Good Super Bowl city. We were spoiled last year with New Orleans, so great to have another one in the books this year. All right, so back to our Hall of Fame combo. We had a long one about Bill Belichick yesterday. Now Robert Kraft, per reports, is not expected to be elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2026. There goes the theory out there that Kraft was involved in keeping Belichick
that he was
out.
working the behind-the-angle scene
I
to
don't think
make
that
sure
one.
he got in and Belichick didn't.
Doesn't seem to add up.
Robert Kraft doesn't want to do that. He doesn't. He's not looking to do that. I mean, it takes away from the shine and the aura of the Patriots. First ballot. I mean, again, I just look at it and go, this is another hit to the credibility of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I still look at it. I had a little conversation with this in Florio today, and the one thing I've learned over the last 24 hours is the board of directors has got plenty of people like Roger Goodell and Jerry Jones and other people to where I still go back and go, they should have been a part of the voting meetings and go, wait, guys. The greatest coach in the history of this American sports, the guy where we might put his name on the trophy next to Vince Lombardi.
Right.
We could name the Hall of Fame after him. We're really not going to put him in? It's crazy. So that's a huge blow to their credibility. And then Mr. Kraft on top of that, there's other owners in there, especially Jerry Jones, and I just go, Mr. Kraft needs to be in there. I mean, he's getting up there in age. He's been the best owner in professional sports over the last 30 years. He took a team from the New England Patriots where I know it was before your
time. They were
time.
in the basement, though.
But they were like, every 10 years, there's the Patriots. The Patriots in the playoffs. This year they got to the AFC Championship game. All right, we'll see you in 12 years again. Right? I mean, that's what they were.
Almost irrelevant.
And now
for
they're
so
a mainstay.
Long. Yeah.
And so not only that, but everybody knows behind the scenes, too, in the NFL, right? Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft are like the de facto commissioners in the NFL. There was always a joke within the league of they have an office in 345 too, right? No decision happens without those two kind of hearing out. They brought the business of the NFL to a totally different level. And, of course, Robert Kraft spearheaded the greatest dynasty we've ever seen in the NFL and made it all happen because of decisions he made, starting with Bill Parcells and getting that coaching tree and getting the organization under his tutelage, which led to Bill Belichick in this run. So the system and how they vote for it is stupid beyond belief. We need to just go to a yay or nay. Stop worrying about special contributors or old guy category or whatever.
Right.
But he deserves to be in there, and it's just another thing you can pile on to go, the Belichick thing's stupid, and now this is stupid too.
It's just showing that the math in the system just really doesn't work. You look at the non-modern era finalists for the Hall of Fame, and once again, voters can only vote for 3 of 5 of these guys. Well, now we know that Belichick and Kraft aren't getting in, and then it's Ken Anderson, Roger Craig, and L.C. Greenwood. But it just seems like a flawed system.
It is.
It's obviously flawed from the get-go when Bill Belichick's not one of the 5 here.
Exactly right.
But then the fact that Kraft, it's putting voters in a bad spot, but also we talked about it, Chris.
Tough.
There is a trust factor, too, with the voters. It goes back to what we discussed yesterday about Gerald McCoy saying that maybe who's actually making the votes doesn't make a ton of sense. I don't know if you go full on it's all people in the Hall of Fame voting, but can you have a hybrid committee?
Yeah.
The more different kind of personalities, the better. But then that's also harder to get everybody on the same page. I'm not going to pretend to know what the perfect solution is. I just know they need to start working towards one.
Yeah, so let's hit on this. First off, like you said, the whole thing's flawed, right? They need to figure this out.
The math doesn't work.
It does not work, right? Who cares about maybe one year there'll be 3 guys going to the Hall of Fame. The next year there's 8 guys. Who cares? Let's stop trying to figure it all out and do it that way. There's like a guy like L.C. Greenwood. I want to sit here and go, how the hell is he not in the Hall of Fame already? That's actually a weird thing and dysfunctional too. You mean a guy that's one of the best defensive linemen in the history of the sport? He was on one of the best defenses in the history of the sport and the great dynasties of the sport, and was part of the all-70s decade team. He's what? Not in the Hall of Fame yet? So there's so many flawed things here. And I think, again, a lot of it goes to a little bit of what you brought up. Yeah, Gerald McCoy made a point. There are some voters there where I'd go, he's not really involved in football that much anymore. I don't think he knows his ass from his elbow anymore, right. But yet he's going to determine someone's life, right? And then there are some that are knowledgeable, right? But I do think that do we have to talk about the committee a little bit and talk about who's voting, how it goes down, the process, all that? Yeah, it's got to be dissected now. It has to be, definitely. Now, with Gerald McCoy, one of the comments he made is right, players should do it. Hall of Famers should do it.
Hall
whatever.
of Famers, yes.
But what I would go, and there's some of that I agree with, okay? And here's, if you guys can read it here, we're not going to go word for word, right? Okay, but hot take, all right, I'm going to read the hot take, but with all the Bill Belichick stuff, thinking about guys like T.O. and A.B., even being a part of the media now, voters of the Hall of Fame should be other Hall of Famers. I don't know why he brings up T.O. or A.B., okay?
That's probably not the...
I don't think those would be the poster childs I would ask for right there.
That's what I was going to say.
Right. Yeah, right. Well, okay, but
we have better. I think we have better examples.
T.O.'s already in the Hall of Fame, so that's gone.
And
right?
A.B. I don't think will be.
I don't know. He deserves to be in it
statistically.
Right. It's probably going to take a little bit.
Right.
The receivers is a tough spot. I mean, everybody's got big numbers of receivers because there's no rule. I mean, there's no rules. I mean,
right. The game changed.
Yeah, the game changed. But off of Gerald McCoy's point, and just to say this too, there's a lot. I'm going to meet a few Hall of Famers here this week who are going to basically admit to me, I've never really seen Seattle play all year. I never saw it.
Just not ingrained
There's
in
not
the game
everybody's
right now.
like that. Just because you were great at playing it doesn't mean you were a student of the game and obsessed with it like everybody else. I could go into a locker room on a Tuesday morning, right, and go in, and I usually did. I'd start a ruckus and start a shit show about the game the night before, or what happened, or a stupid play, or a stupid penalty, right? There was always a faction in the locker room who was like, who won? What game was on last night?
They don't live like that.
No, they don't live like that. They went, I went out to dinner with my girlfriend, or I hung out and played Xbox with my friends, or whatever. I didn't watch the game last night.
Right.
They're not obsessed. But then people want to go, well, they play the game. They'll tell you what happened. And I want to go, no. In a locker room, nobody would ask this guy what's going on in the football. Nobody. So don't just think that. Don't take that. So that's where, I agree with him, where we got to reorchestrate, reconfigure this a little bit. And I do think some Hall of Famers really are obsessed with the game and know it.
Right.
But I do think there's some others that are just like, hey, I was awesome, I played, and I watched the Super Bowl and a few other big games during the year, but I don't really pay attention that much.
That's the hybrid idea for me. Where there are going to be particular Hall of Famers, and I don't know the number.
Right.
I don't know the number of the 50. It's not 50. I know that.
Yeah.
But there is a number where it's like, this person's qualified, wants to do it, has the ambition to do it, and is good to get a different perspective in our meetings.
Right.
These meetings are crazy.
Yeah.
These guys are on Zoom for 8 hours, and then they're meeting in person.
Well, that's where it's tough, too. And you bring your guy from your city who you're propping up, and I want Roger Craig, Craig. And then it's like, oh, wait, but I have to vote for Roger Craig. And now it's like, uh-oh, I can't vote for one of these other guys. And that's a stupid process there.
So I don't know what the solution is, but there has to be, I think, different perspectives, because the fact that there was enough unified voices that Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer tells you that the perspective in one corner was dry and just wrong.
Yeah.
That's just the wrong. We can make a lot of arguments in football that are subjective, and you can go through different opinions and perspectives. But Bill Belichick not being a first ballot Hall of Famer, that's not really a debate. That's just there was something here that isn't the right process.
Well, that's exactly right. Well, here's a phrase I get a lot from people in the NFL, right? And I said this a little earlier to Florio, and I'm probably going to butcher it because I butcher everything, right? Right? But I get this from other people. I can read and write. How come I don't get to vote on the Writers' Hall of Fame? In fact, I read and write better than that writer knows football, but yet he's going to determine who goes in the Hall of Fame. Right. And I think there's a faction of people in football that sit there and go, I can't believe this guy has a vote, right? He doesn't know his ass from his elbow. Or there's a faction of the voters who actually text people and go, give me your top 5. And they take a census of people they trust that know football. And I just want to go, like, that's cool and all that, but yet, like, I don't know if that should be the process of, like, let me ask the 5 guys I know that I think know the football the best and probably know it better than me, and I'm a voter, but let me ask them, and then I'll do it that way. That's flawed as well, and that's where I think we're talking about the whole thing's got to be reconfigured.
Taco Tom in the chat said, if you're a Hall of Famer, you're a Hall of Famer. This voting stuff is crazy. It's like in baseball with Andrew Jones. How did he not have many votes, then all of a sudden 8 years he's in?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think it's the like the volatility of it, where it's hard for people that aren't voters like myself to understand the year-to-year process.
And sometimes, like, to a guy like Andrew Jones or other people, L.C. Greenwood, they need somebody sometimes to be at the forefront of the discussion to publicize it. So sometimes, like we always say, like, say it out loud. Yeah. Say it out loud. And you start to hear it and you go, oh, damn, right. Like, how the hell isn't he in the Hall of Fame?
You go through all the accolades and the resume.
So sometimes the public forgets. Yeah. And then you got to have somebody that can kind of spearhead the political charge to remind everybody, like, hey, this guy did this. This guy, like Simeon Rice, he's one of those guys that I played for that deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, right? You start to look at his stats and the amount of sacks he had in a short period of time and all that, and you go, that's some of the best pass rusher stuff in the history of football. Right. People don't think about it. So the Glazers, few of the writers down there in Tampa, they're in the midst right now of starting to pub that up again. They go, wait, you guys forget how awesome he was? It's one of the best defenses ever, and he was our best pass rusher. Like, we forgot. And that's where that, again, the whole thing is a little bit odd, and we got to figure it out.
All right, we're going to take one more break. When we're back, the head coaching carousel has come to a halt, but the coordinator carousel has heated up a lot. Chris and I will go through all the latest hires after this. Coordinator carousel. Check out this from Matt Williamson. This is completely insane. We were saying in the chat, Chris. 29 of the current 32 offensive coordinators were hired in 2004 or later. The other 3, of course, Stenovich and Phillips, 2022, and Cooter, 2023. All 3, of course, with offensive head coaches already.
Right. Well, I mean, I think you look at it in general. I mean, again, you see, I think it speaks to the broader point of how we talk about, like, offensive coordinators. Everybody's looking for that to be the next head coach. So there's incredible turnover there, right? And also within that turnover, Okay, guy goes to the new job. How many of those guys are hired at a spot where it's like, no, the head coach calls the plays, but they've flipped it over that way, right? So you're an offensive coordinator, but you're not really the offensive coordinator, right? I mean, and we know the offensive coordinator of the Rams is Sean McVay.
That's right.
Shanahan's the one in the 49ers. Ben Johnson's the one, in Chicago. And Mike McDaniel was the one in Miami, right? So so it's a little bit of a context there, but I do think it speaks again to the itchy trigger fingers of, I want a new guy in here to make my offense good, and I want the new next smart guy to be my head coach who's an offensive guy, right?
It just speaks to the alarming turnover rate. By the way, Joe Milton on Tom
Big
Coughlin
Joe Milton's
time.
here. Wow.
Early, ready to go.
Well, I mean, Milton, I want to get him up here as we talk about this, but, I mean, this is kind of New England time. I don't know if this is Cowboy time, right? This is New England time.
As I said, it's that Tom Coughlin.
I mean, this is more like you're early
ready
I
to
wouldn't
go.
I would expect that from a Patriot. I don't know about a Cowboy. Right? What's up, man?
How y'all doing?
Man, Joe Milton, you're a legend in a lot of ways.
So much on TikTok.
Well, yeah, really, that's kind of where it started. I was telling him before, I think the first time I saw you play a little bit, at the end of some games at Tennessee.
Yes.
And then I think it was the next year I saw you at the Manning and Passing Academy. And I can remember my son coming up to me going like, did you see this Joe Milton throw? And I was like, holy crap, is that AI? Like, it was literally like that, all right? So, but thanks for hanging out with us, man.
No problem, man.
Thanks a lot.
Anytime.
When did you know you had a bazooka for a right arm?
Well, I'll say I didn't know I had a bazooka. I got a rocket, though.
Yeah, okay.
I go by rocket.
The same thing, it's all right.
I don't know. Rockets go further.
Yeah, they do. You're right. Okay, I'll give you the rocket.
Yeah, all right. But that's why. I'll say, what was that, 7th grade? I had a quarterback distance competition at the 7-on-7.
Right.
That's when actually the whole thing was body armor first came out. Well, that's when the first time I tried it, but it was at a body armor 7-on-7.
Right.
And they had a distance competition after we played 6 games. And the quarterbacks, I was the last person to throw. Everybody threw, I think the furthest throw before I threw was like 65.
Right.
I threw it 75.
Right.
And I won my first trophy. And after that, it was like, I'm going to just keep trying it out.
Did you play baseball at all?
No, I threw the ball one time, though. Threw a 95.
I was going to ask what the radar gun was.
You could have been a major league pitcher. I don't doubt that at all either. I mean, you got that kind of arm.
I've been to about 11 Senior Bowls, and I've never seen someone throw the football as far as you or as hard as you.
They said Dylan Gabriel beat my... Yeah.
I don't believe I was there for both of them. I don't know if I believe that. Just being honest, I go by the eye test, not the data. I'm going to give you that nod. So a reporter in Dallas said this offseason you could throw 82.
Yeah.
Is that where we're at right now officially?
Right now, probably like 87.
Oh my man, you can almost go 90. Yeah. That's next level.
That is.
I mean, let me see how you grip the football. Let me just see how you grip. I always like to look at it. So you're 2 and under 5. Yeah, that is the new grip. Everybody does that in the NFL.
Yeah,
that was like not a thing when I was young or when I was coming up.
A lot of people actually, it's a lot better to throw it without the laces.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
It is,
I
though.
like the laces. See, I always had 2 hands on it,
but
2
every
fingers on it.
time you grab the laces,
right?
in the moments you don't, the ball don't come out good. So that's why you always throw without the laces.
Oh, you throw without the laces just to get used to it. Yeah, I hear that. You got to have that.
Yes.
All right, so let's dive a little into this. I was talking to him before about the politics sometimes of the backup quarterback position, right? It's not always good to be really talented as the backup.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? I was stuck in those situations a little bit. I don't expect you to know my career, but I was the #1 recruit in the country coming out of high school. My arm was big time.
Trust me. I
So,
know what's going on.
all right. So either way, but guys like you or me sometimes, people know, okay, man, he has a practice. Everybody goes in the locker room and starts going, man, did you see Joe Milton today?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, shit, I forgot about the starter. It's Joe Milton. We were talking about him today, right? And it feels like that's kind of what happened in New England to a degree. Is that how you feel like it went down?
Not necessarily. I think it was just more of like they drafted him early.
Yeah.
So it was just time to play him. And obviously he was playing well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all props to him.
Of course.
But A little bit, yes.
Yeah, a little bit, because there was
yeah,
that
of
out
course.
there. Well, I would hear, I know people up
Yeah, a
there,
little bit, yes.
you know, and they would tell me, like, man, people go in the locker room and go, and I told him, they'd be like, man, Joe Milton today.
A little bit, yes.
And I'm sure, like, the higher-ups in the organization didn't like that you were like, hey, this guy's supposed to be the golden child.
Yes.
We're not supposed to be talking about Joel Milton here in the locker room.
Yes.
Right.
The biggest advocate of that was Jabril Peppers, though.
Is that right?
Yes.
Jabril was one that was like, damn, Joe Milton.
Yeah,
right.
He
He's a
was
loudmouth Jersey guy like me, so that makes sense.
Very, very fitting.
That makes sense.
Legit.
Joe, what was it like this year working under an offensive head coach in Shoddy? Because it feels like when Shoddy got hired, so many people were like, oh, okay, especially a job like the Cowboys. But watching the offense this year, it looked like he did a hell of a job. So what was it like for you getting to work behind the scenes under him?
It was great. Shoddy's a great dude. Very family oriented. Really loves being around like you as a person.
Right.
Loves to know what you do outside of football. Like he wants to know you.
He wants to know the person. Yeah.
I think he does a great job as a leader for that. You know, as a leader, you have to know your people. You have to know how you be able to talk to people. So he does a great job with that. But calling plays, man, it's like he sees the game different.
Right.
Especially when he was at Seattle, he was, you know, using kind of the same format of plays. But now he got different people. He got George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb outside. I think it's not too much hard to call plays for that.
Right? I mean, freaks right there.
He's a great play caller, great dude, and just overall just amazing, though.
Yeah,
like,
easy to root for. Like I was glad to finally see him get his chance and be a head coach, right? I mean, a guy that's done all the right things for so long. I'm always like, you know, I played for 3 different teams, and it's always kind of interesting to see the differences of how organizations are run, right? Like, give me some of the things that pop to you between New England and Dallas.
Obviously taxes.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Obviously taxes, but
because you're both like part of a team that's a big show, a big spectacle. Right?
I say when I was at the Patriots, it was more robotic.
Gotcha.
It was more like the organization had its way of how it was ran.
Right.
And at the Cowboys, it's more of like, it's Jerry's world. It's fun. It's, you know, entertaining.
Right.
You're a Dallas Cowboy. You're on America's team. So you're enjoying everything that comes with it.
Yeah.
And then you go put on that star on your helmet and it's go time. So it's great.
Right. You get like Dallas, it's like any restaurant you walk into.
Everybody know who you are.
New England, you're like, hey, no, you got to drive a little way up to Boston to get to those restaurants.
Yes, you got to drive.
And they might not really know exactly who you are unless you're one of the biggest stars on the team, right?
You won't have too much food to choose from either. So yes, absolutely.
With all that being said, having some of your friends obviously still there, will you be rooting for the Patriots this Sunday? Or is it kind of
I'll be rooting for my friends.
Yeah, right. It's more about the individuals.
I don't think I'm going to root for a team. I still want the Cowboys. I wish we was here.
Of course.
But yeah, I'm always going to root for my guys that I built relationships with, like Pop Douglas, Drake, obviously. Texted him about 3 or 4 days ago. Terrell Jennings, Gonzo, pretty much half of the whole team.
Yeah, that's cool.
I wish those guys the best. You know, just go out there and play your best.
Yeah. So, like, expand on Drake Maye a little bit, right? I mean, we were here at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What makes him him, right? Talk about the person, the player, the skill set that impressed you, like, and where he's at now.
Drake's just being in the room with him, man. He's very smart.
Right.
Like, he knows football. You could tell that he's been around football. And he's not a dummy. Like, he knows what's going on.
He knows ball.
He knows ball.
Right.
And then he's so young, so his body is just like, he's getting used to his body. Like, I know he haven't came to his full self yet. Like, he haven't played his best ball yet. So it's great to see. Like, it's amazing to see, especially like being drafted in the same class. Like, seeing somebody you worked with every day had the same rookie workouts, like, go achieve something like this. Like, it's amazing to see. Like, I wish him nothing but the best. Like, he's a great person. Like, he's
a good dude, easy to root for.
Good locker room dude. Like, he's not listening to music in his headphones. He's not isolated. Like, he's in the environment.
Yeah, one of the guys.
Yeah.
So going into this offseason, do you train where it's like, all right, I have a goal to get better at this in the offseason before I go back to the facility? Or for you, is it just all about the routine and doing what's got you here?
Nah, I always train at something that I want to get better at.
What's it this season?
For example, it's just like open up my hips more, get my hips looser, so I can be able to maneuver how I want to and when I want to. But other than that, it's more of just getting a better understanding of the playbook.
Yeah.
Like year 2 in this offense and the same plays, same playbook, same coaches. Just getting a better understanding of the terminology. That was like the biggest difference for me. Like, for example, like sort to me is always sort. Like they could take 2 from either side, but now that's drag.
Yeah, so
You know
you
what
got
I
to
mean?
reverse
So
all this stuff in
You
your
just got to
your
learn
brain.
different terminology.
Right.
So that's about it.
Yeah, no, I know. I hear you. That's a struggle. You didn't even get to like dive into the Josh McDaniels playbook, did you?
Nah.
Right, because
Nah.
that's crazy. You would have been like, what?
Yeah,
What is that formation? They use numbers for formations.
What?
Yeah, it's
they
like
still
0
use
out
that?
slot, 1 hole, right? 0,
Oh,
right?
no.
It's different. It's
Nah,
different. I know.
nah,
I know.
yeah.
And people don't realize that. That's a huge part of the process for quarterbacks. We talk about it all the time. It's just that, you know, how can you go out there and play and be free when you're still going, you're walking, as a young quarterback, I used to walk to the line of scrimmage in John Gruden's offense going, I would be saying the play to myself, acting like I'm all confident, and be going, okay, wait, this guy's going here, that guy's going there.
I mean,
Blue 45, like figuring it out on the run as you're there, you're right? You know, I mean, that's where when people go, the game slowed down, those are the things they're talking
Yes, and you still have times like that now.
about. Yeah,
like,
sure.
Shotty will go like, all right, here we go, JoJo. Like, why hustle to do it right? You know, 2-jet, striker wrap. Like, you know, I'm like, all right, bet. Why hustle, do it right? 2-jet.
Yeah. All right. So we've got to take a break in a minute. But one other thing, too. With Drake Maye and his physical ability, right? Because you've always been the man. You probably always tell me you're a quarterback. My arm's the strongest. I'm the fastest.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest, whatever. Were you amazed or did it catch you off guard, some of his physical ability when you saw him?
No. I seen him play in college.
So you knew what he was about.
I knew what he was about.
Right.
And then it was more like we talked at the Senior Bowl. We was already chopping it up.
Yeah,
so
right.
We didn't know that was going to happen, but it happened. But nah, I wasn't amazed. I was more of like, all right, Drake.
Yeah.
Like,
Drake's what I thought he was.
Yeah, I was still. If you go back to our games, you can watch us on the sideline. Like, I was talking to Drake before every game. Like, go be you.
Yeah.
Never forget who you are.
Right.
Go have fun.
Right.
Joe, we know we got some time with you today thanks to all the work you do with Stand Together. So what's the latest you've been doing with that NFL organization?
Right now, me and my team is just trying to, the hardest part for us NFL players is like, we have the heart to want to, help out families or help out like different things, but we just don't have the roadmap. So like Stand Together is like perfect for us because we don't have to do as much. We just tell them what our ideals are, and they roll with it. They find out resources, and they make it happen.
They make it happen in reality.
They make it happen. So
that's
for
a good
me,
one there.
I grew up in a household with a single mother.
Right.
My dad was around, but I still had to go to night every night with a single mother. So I'm the oldest of 7. Lost one of my sisters when I was 7. So the biggest thing for me is watching my mom struggle. Going to school every day, coming home and not seeing a good meal on a stove or something
on the table,
being cooked, right? So that was probably the biggest thing for me. And being a kid and the person that I am, I always had dreams and goals for myself and for my family. So being able to help families that are single moms, kids that have dreams, be a guidance for them, be a father figure or a big brother for them. And what is that? It's giving back for Christmas, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Camps, football camps. I already had a couple in Knoxville already, so I'm trying to get my team to set up something in Pahokee. I never did a camp down there. My cousin in Coin Bowden always did a foundation down there, so kind of want to have the same, go in the same direction with it. And then obviously in Orlando at my high school.
Me and Anquan came out together, right? We were the same year of high school. We were on the USA Today All-American team.
I'm telling you, I know exactly.
First off, I just want to say here, too, man, I like your watch. Ooh, I like your jewelry. Can't hide that money. And look at all this. Look at you dressing cool. I guess this is cool now. I don't know. I'm not wearing that stuff, but either way, it's good. But we got to go to commercial break.
Perfect.
All right, so I want you to take us to break. Say, hey, Chris Simms Unbuttoned will be back right after this. Let's see what you got, all right?
So, all right, bet.
Yeah.
We're going to break right now. We got Chris and Unbuttoned and Joe Milton. See y'all later.
Nailed it. Built for TV.
Boom. We got to work on it a little, but we'll get you there.
Get louder.
We're back live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 60. Chris, the coordinator carousel for us. We keep kicking it down the road.
We do.
But I am not signing off today without asking you about the biggest one of the day. The Giants hire Matt Nagy as offense coordinator. We know they were in on Todd Monken. He gets the head coaching job.
Right.
This is the pivot for John Harbaugh.
Right. I mean, I wanted Monken, right? Of
course.
I did, right? I thought maybe Cliff Kingsbury. I was probably more excited about that than maybe Matt Nagy. I think the thing that you got to think about there, though, is probably John Harbaugh goes, man, Cliff Kingsbury comes here, he has a good year, he's going to be a head coach, I'm going to lose him, we're going to be right back here. I think Matt Nagy's going to have a few good years before he gets considered head coach, right? I like it from this standpoint, okay, that he did come from Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes. He's played a lot of big game football. He knows how to run an offense. He'll get Jackson Dart to go, hey, here's the offense, do the offensive plays, but I'm not going to take away your ability to play backyard and use your instincts and stuff. I just was with a guy that was awesome at that. So I want you to keep that too. That's where I do like that. But at the same time, am I going to sit here and tell you I love his offense? No, Kansas City's been a defensive football team last year.
Right.
Kansas City opted not to extend his contract. It was a soft fire, kind of.
Yeah.
Right, exactly right. So that's kind of my thoughts there.
All right, the fun continues for us tomorrow. We will be back same time, Chris, 3 p.m. Eastern time.
I want to steal one of these. I'm going to steal one of these banners. I say it every year. Super Bowl 21 banners coming home with me eventually. See ya.